Welcome back to our channel Govt Drish, and this is our part 25 of Lucent series General Knowledge, where we are learning about the medieval history. This is our last chapter of medieval history, as we will be going to start a new that session will be of the modern history. So this is our last part of medieval history, where we'll be knowing about the advent of the Europeans, and in our last video we have already covered the Portuguese who had entered during the time and what they have achieved or what were the exact information about them. So now we'll be knowing about the Dutch. So if you want to grab more details in such a way on a regular basis, so then do not forget to like, share and subscribe our channel Govt Drish, and also go through our previous videos where I have already explained such concepts. So first, let's get started with the Dutch. They formed the company in March. That was 1602, and it was by a charter of Dutch Parliament. The Dutch East India Company was formed with powers to make wars, conclude treaties, acquire territories and build fortresses. तो ये जो डच का कंपनी था ये वाले डेट में फॉर्म हुआ था, एंड किससे बना था? डच पार्लियामेंट से, जो डच ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी थे, और ये लोग वॉर्स भी कर सकते थे, ट्रीटीज़ भी बना सकते थे, इवन टेरिटरीज भी एक्योर कर सकते थे, फोर्ट्रेसेस मतलब infrastructures and all, forts to stay and all they could build. Now they could also build up factories. Now remember this, because where they had built factories in which year, and it can come that if these factories are Dutch factories or not, where the places are belonging, it can come. First will be Masulipatam, then we have Pulikat, Surat, Bimilipatam, Karaikal, Chinsura, then we have Kasimazar, Balangor, Patna, Balasore, Negapatam and Kochi. Okay, so these are the factories places. Now they replaced the Portuguese as the most dominant power in European trade with the East, including India. तो उनके पहले पोर्टुगीज़ थे, बट उन्होंने पोर्टुगीज़ को भी रिप्लेस कर दिया और एक डोमिनेंट पावर बन गए ना. और पुलिकत था उन लोगों का मेन सेंटर इंडिया में 1690 में, बट उसके बाद जो निगापतम था उसने उसको रिप्लेस कर दिया. They were also considered to English after the defeat in the Battle of Beteira in 1759. So remember the battle's name. Now let's know about the English. Okay, now before the English East India Company that was established, that established trade in India, there was John Milton Hill. Who was he? He was a merchant adventurer, और वो फर्स्ट इंग्लिशमैन थे जो इंडिया में आए थे. कौन से ईयर में? 1599 में. कौन से रूट से? लैंड रूट से. एंड हिज ओनली पर्पस वाज ट्रेड. दैट वाज ट्रेड और बिजनेस विद द Indian merchants. That was his only goal. Now, the Government Company of Merchants of London trading into the East Indias, popular as English India Company, was formed. तो इसके बाद English, the main thing that we know about the English is the East India Company. So you have to give your whole focus on the East India Company's formation, how it was formed, when it was formed, like when it was formed, who was the Governor General. So these things were very important, like the formation process is very important because East India Company plays a vital role in Indian history as well. So it was formed in 1600. We have charter of 1600 if we remember. Then Captain William Hawkins arrived at Jahangir's court in 1609 to seek permission to open a factory at Surat. A farman was issued by Jahangir permitting the English to build a factory at Surat. So 1609, a very important year. We have charter of 1609 also. Okay. What happened and who came to Jahangir's court? This name is also important. Captain William Hawkins came to Jahangir's court, and what he asked permission for, to build a factory, and then it was issued by Jahangir in 1613 that they could build a factory at Surat. Then came Sir Thomas Roe, and he was ambassador of James I to Jahangir's court in 1615, and then also obtained the permission of trade and erect factories in different parts of the empire. Then this English East India Company, what they did, they had acquired Bombay from Charles II on lease. Then Gerald Augier, he was the first governor from 1669 to 1677. Then we have 1690, we have Job Charnock. He had established a factory where at Sultanati and the zamindari of the three villages, that was Uttinati, Kalikata and Gobindpur. Okay, so these were the places where he had established the factory, and in this places only it was acquired by the British. Now please remember the first governor's name, Gerald Augier. And what first he did, first he had came to acquire English East India Company. First they had acquired Bombay from whom, from Charles II, so remember this. Then these were the three villages where the Zabindaris that Job Charnock had established, and then these villages had grew up into one single city, that was Calcutta. And now this factory also at Sultanate, it was fortified, the new fortified settlement, and then this fortified settlement was known as Fort William in 1700. Now in 1694, the British Parliament had passed a resolution giving equal rights to all the Englishmen to trade in the East. Okay, so after this 1694, everyone had the right that everyone can trade in the East. Then one more rival company came to the English East India Company, that was English Company of Merchants trading to the East Indies, and it was a rival company to them, and it was formed in 1698. Now the final amalgamation of company came in 1708 under the title of the Unified Okay, so what happened, that rival company and English East India Company, they amalgamated, that is they came together and they formed this, the United Company of Merchants of England trading to the East Indies, and its existence continued till the 1858. This was all about the English. Now let's know about the French. Now this French East India Company, it was formed by whom? By Colbert, and it was under state patronage in 1664. Now the first French factory was also established at Surat by Francois Caron in before French, who allowed Jahangir, had already allowed English in 1613 to build a factory, but after that French has also started. Now, a factory at Masulipatam was also set up. That was in 1669, and then the French power in India, it got revived. Like revival came, and it was under Lenoir and Dumas. Between which years? This years. What they had occupied? They occupied Mahen, the Malabar, Yanam and Coromandel, then Karaikal in Tamil Nadu. Okay, remember these three places. Now, there's arrival of Duplessis, who was a French governor in India, in which year in 1742 it saw the beginning of the Anglo-French conflict, and it has resulted in their final defeat. So these are the wars. First Anglo-French War, the French besieged Madras. Okay, so these are all the what happened. The French besieged Madras, and then Saint Thom, the Nawab of Catholic Army, was defeated. Then we have Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. Then we have Second Anglo-French War. It aligned with Muzaffar Jung and Chanda Sahib. Then we have Treaty of Pondicherry. New French government was formed. 1754 ended the Second Anglo-French War. Third Anglo-French War, okay, so they had captured the fort of Saint David. French were defeated. It was a decisive defeat of French. Then the Treaty of Paris, it had ended the third and final Anglo-French War in India, and Pondicherry was returned to French by this treaty. So this was all about the French, English, and the Dutch. Portuguese was already completed in the last video. So now go through each points, what had each communities or each people have came and done, know about the East India companies, all the charters and many things. All the important things have been pointed out. Just frame out the questions and you are done. So for these sort of content, follow us. Take care. See you soon. Meet you in our next video.